Welcome to a new episode of the Three Hokages podcast. We're your hosts, Kay, Kareem, and Hanif. We're going to hit you with a little bit of double D, pause. We're going to start with Darth Maul, and then we're going to jump into Daredevil. So let's discuss the season of Star Wars' latest animated series, Darth Maul, Shadow Lord. For the past few weeks, we teased and talked about it in brief, but now that the season's over, we're going to give you a spoiler-heavy Darth Maul review. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you want to pause this podcast and come back, we're going to talk about all 8 episodes in one bunch, and we will talk about the Easter eggs. We will talk about spoilers of things like that. So without further ado, Kareem, Darth Maul, yay or nay? What was your take on this animated series?
Absolutely yay. I think it captures that unique Star Wars magic. Similar to other, top quality shows that have come out in the past few years. And I think it carries it forward. It has enough in it for nostalgic reasons in terms of excitement, feeling the familiar along with, brand new storyline, especially considering that this is not its own timeline. This is technically a prequel, but it's also a sequel. So it's somewhere in between where even though you don't know where the story is going to end, you have an idea where it will not end. Like, Darth Maul is not going to beat everybody. When characters make appearance in the show, you know what's going to happen with them or what's not going to happen with them. But I think it finds its own niche to tell a story about not just Darth Maul, but about the other characters enough where it feels engrossing. It doesn't feel tedious. It doesn't feel, repetitive. None of the characters felt annoying to me. Even when they added, sons that probably shouldn't really be in the action, and they're suddenly somehow better shooters than stormtroopers. Well, we know that I can overlook because it's part of that, that Star Wars magic or suspension of disbelief. And it had legit moments where I'm like just sitting there at the edge of my chair, like, yo, this is intense. I'm nervous. Who's going to survive? And then, a moment that I'm sure we're going to spoil where I'm like, yo, are you serious? Are you serious? And
I already know.
But it has that same reaction, which lets you know that there really is like only just one villain, like who's number one over decades. Because it's the same reaction every time you see this character, no matter how many times you have the same reaction. So I say absolutely yay. This captures that magic, which is familiar, whether it's Andor, whether it's the original trilogy, whether it's any of the other movies that you may not have remembered over the past few years because people focused so much on the last 3 movies that came out. But yeah, absolutely yay for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only downside I disliked, or no, it's not my issue, is that since it's a prequel, or not so much a prequel, it's laid in between series. We know what happens eventually to Darth Maul, so the excitement and suspense to me is minimized because I know Darth Maul is going to survive this interaction.
Yeah.
How he's going to survive the interaction, I guess, is the suspenseful part. But I know eventually we're going to see him. No, spoiler alert. No, we see him die at the hands of Obi-Wan again in Star Wars Rebels. So it's like I know what's going to happen because it's again like Kareem had said. This takes place before, after Clone Wars, but before A New Hope, and actually it's Clone Wars, Shadow Lord, Rebels. That's how that's where this lies in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the Shadow Lord, this series, so far season 1 ties into Rebels, because in Rebels, the series finale for Rebels is when he's on Tatooine seeking out Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they meet in the desert. Obi-Wan Kenobi kills him, so we know that's where he is. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is still alive. He's a little bit older, but not as old as Alec Guinness was in The New Hope. But we know after Star Wars Rebels comes, I think it's Rogue One, New Hope, and then those movies like that. Like the Obi-Wan series is still, I think it might be taking place now, like in between. Like there's so many things. Like you can probably make one of those conspiracy theory red things of where all the series, how they tie into one another. But I digress. But anyway, the series is great. Every episode gets better than the next in regards to action, character development. You start off right into the thick of things. Darth Maul is on this. I forgot the name of the planet, but Darth Maul and his crew is on a planet. Looking to take out the Red Dawn. For those who've played the recent Jedi Star Wars game, that was the smuggler game when you play as the smuggler. You're familiar with the underworld of the Galactic Empire, of the Red Dawn, and all these other gangs and mafia, space mafias, if you will.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much he's pretty much seeking revenge on taking them all out and becoming the focal point of power in the underworld, the Shadow Lord, if you will. He runs into a Jedi and his Padawan, and he sees her, and it just can sense her unease with the light side, and wants to basically take her under his wing and train her. He sees that he can build and mold her, but she's not sure what she wants to do, and all of that stuff. Now that Darth Maul's been found out, the Empire finds out that he's on this planet. Now the Empire shows up to take him down, and the Empire brings in 2 Inquisitors. Not one, but 2 Inquisitors show up to take him out. So now it's 2 Inquisitors versus the Jedi and his Padawan. So you got to know and Darth Maul. So now you got a 3-on-2 fight, and with Darth Maul and his Arab martial arts skills. Darth Maul with the dual wield lightsaber, and he breaks into 2 at different times, and the force wielding. The martial arts is probably on par with what you've seen in the Clone Wars with Anakin and Ahsoka and stuff. And it ramps up like every episode, and there's 25-minute episodes, but it ramps up. So they get away. The Inquisitors still looking for them. And then I think it's 9 episodes. I believe it's 10 episodes. Yeah. Episodes again, 8, 9, and 10. It just escalates. Like, it's a crescendo of activity. Like the Kareem said, like I think end of episode 9 is like you literally on the edge of the seat, like, oh, what did I just see? Like, I give all the credit to Nathan Filoni for putting this out there. This is one of the better animated Star Wars series. I'll let Kareem go on to episode 9 and 10. Go ahead, Kareem.
So again, we know who kills who doesn't kill who. So even with that known, obviously the Inquisitors couldn't take down everybody. They couldn't take down the 2 Jedi. They couldn't take down Darth Maul. Maybe they would have stood a chance if it was 2-on-2, 2-on-1, whatever the case might have been. And they call in help. They report to someone who you have your suspicions who they may be reporting to. But again, the show is holding its own. So it's not as if someone else needs to make an appearance to make the show worth watching. Mm-hmm. That's what's so good about this show, where it didn't need a gimmick to take it to that level. But it did escalate to where it's become a memorable series, where at the end of episode 9, you believe that Darth Maul and the Jedi's, they're getting away at least a little bit. There's a few of his, peoples left. Where he really wasn't looking out for his people at that point. But, mm-hmm. when they try to escape through the forest and they get knocked off, somebody's out there. And you're hoping and
who it is.
Realize you're hoping for a villain to show up. You're supposed to be rooting for the good guy.
You were hoping for a villain? I was
so when you hear all you have to do is just hear the sound. Like how iconic is someone where all you have to do is hear a sound and it just raises your adrenaline? Like, how is that possible? Like, think about that for a moment. Before you even see a character, you hear the sound, you hear the breathing, which is basically a condition. It's like hearing somebody limping in the room and you get excited. It's like that sound is because he has a condition and you get excited, like you know who it is. And then they show him, it's just the truth. Yo, are you like, I stood up. I'm not going to lie. I probably overreacted.
A little.
But I probably overreacted. I admit it. But it was just too hype because, like, they're not getting away. I mean, okay, yes, they were going to get away. We knew somebody was getting away.
Well, again, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the downside of knowing what happens to Darth Maul, is that he's got to get away.
Yeah, and they're not going to win. That's the thing. Like, it is a losing battle for them from that point on.
Sorry.
Somebody's not making it out alive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what starts to happen. But the action sequences at that point the choreography for the animation was just amazing. We've seen so many lightsaber battles. We've been watching them for decades. And for this to feel fresh, for this to feel unique, everybody has their own style. You see the styles countering. This one's using the Force. This one has the dual wielding lightsabers. It was just like a beautiful thing to watch. Yes, Darth Maul was being portrayed somewhat as having a righteous cause, maybe a little bit of a hero in certain contexts because he kept saving the Jedi. But then you're reminded about who he is when he does that little nudge. When he sees it's a losing battle, and he just kind of nudges the master in the direction where
Force pushes behind into Darth Vader.
Like that was a little foul. I was like, let me just push you in that direction. It's like you being chased by a dog and you have somebody, you tripped them so you can get away. It's like, come on. Like, that's dirty, but it's like,
is it though?
Yeah, where it's like you kind of understand it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't fight Darth Vader either. I'm gonna be honest. But would you really knock somebody over? But you get the logic behind the move.
I'm sorry. It's more like the slowest person. It's zombie rules. The slowest person gets got. Like, yo, you give me a little bit more time.
I think what I mentioned with regards to the lightsaber duels and stuff, I would love to know if this was all drawn out or was this like motion capture? Like, did they have actors do these moves and then they rendered it into the CGI animated show, or did they just actually just draw it out that way? Because I mean, it was a lot of sweet moves and a lot of parries and poses with when those Inquisitors versus the Padawan, the Jedi, and Darth Maul. But also with this show is with the lightsaber battles that we get to see Darth Vader again in his prime. We've seen him in his prime at the end of Rogue One. We've seen him in his prime when he's fighting Ahsoka, and I think this was Clone Wars or Rebels. But now you see him again in this one where he's using his Force as well as wielding his lightsaber. Like, they try to bring down the ceiling in that cave on him, and he's Force pushing the ceiling away while still whacking away at the rocks. And also that he never talked, so you didn't hear the iconic James Earl Jones-esque voice. I mean, granted, James Earl Jones had passed away, but you didn't have anyone trying to replicate his voice. Most times it was actually all the time he was fighting, you just either heard him breathing or not at all. So it was like a Michael Myers, Jason kind of thing where they're running through the cave thinking he's done, and then a few times he just pops right out in front of them or from the side, and like, oh, they start fighting again, and then they force run and jump away, and then they think they got away from him, and he's back at it, like literally like Jason, like, don't turn around, just keep running to your ship. I keep turning around, like, catching your breath and looking, and he just pops up, force pushing and grabbing, and it was at one point him and Darth Maul are fighting solo, and I'm thinking Darth Maul could really take him out if one, Darth Maul was healthy, because I think he had gotten injured in the previous episode with his cybernetic legs, and two, they got I think Anakin. We know Darth Vader is much stronger in the Force. Like, I think if he wasn't using his Force in just straight battle with like sabers, I think Darth Maul could have came toe to toe with him. I mean, that's up for debate. I mean, people online probably is going to say no, Darth Maul is not as great as a swordsman or saber master as Vader. But I mean, we can do wield.
Vader really though?
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, if you see it, Darth Vader was like he was using it almost like a baseball bat or a club, because he was just whacking people. Like, I guess there's also the sheer power of maybe his being on the dark side, or maybe the cybernetics of him in that suit was much stronger, because he was just hitting people, and this like they were just blocking but getting lower and lower and lower. Similar to Return of the Jedi, when Luke Skywalker is attacking Darth Vader in the Emperor's room, and he just keeps whacking down, and then he succumbs to it. Like, that's pretty much what's happening to all three of them when they were fighting Darth Vader. Because at the last episode, there's a 3-on-1, and Darth Vader's holding his own without a problem. I think they got one hit on him. I think they sliced him on the arm, and he was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? I don't even really have an arm here. That's cybernetic. Yeah, I can't feel that. But it's good. And the way it ends, it can definitely be, if they choose to, there can be a second season. Obviously, they get away, but the Padawan agrees to be trained by Darth Maul. She wants revenge for the death of her master. So, he's welcoming her, not so much to the dark side, but to the revenge side. Like, you can use your powers for vengeance. And I hope they do have a second season, because it was definitely really good. And plus, he wants to still be a Shadow Lord. So they can dive into that.
Yeah. And I think it's an excellent dynamic with Devin now, because there is a witness to what occurred. But how far would I go? How far can that go? I mean, there really is nobody else out there that can corroborate that Darth Maul set up a master to be killed by Darth Vader. He probably would have ended up having to sacrifice himself anyway so they could get away, but he didn't get that choice. And so I do think that that's a dynamic that's worth exploring, because if she realizes that the one who's training her is responsible for the anger and pain that she had, where is that going to lead her? Doesn't mean she'll go back to being a Jedi, but I think there are stories that can be further developed within this own universe, as opposed to the greater movement of the Star Wars story.
I mean, she may end up just like Ahsoka. She'll take the gray path and just know, I'm not neither dark nor light. I'm just going to choose to walk my own path. So I give it 10 out of 10. Like, it was really good series. I didn't think it was going to, not that it wasn't going to be great, but I didn't think it was going to have the excitement level of the action that it did. I thought it was just going to show just him. I didn't know it was going to involve another Jedi, 2 Jedis, as well as Darth Vader. That was never even on my radar. For him to show up out of the mist, it's like, oh, okay.
Now I'm more interested.
It wasn't in any trailer, which is what we need. We need genuine surprises in shows and movies again, because that's like a reward in and of itself.
Yeah. It's like, even if you didn't see the trailers, you just heard about Darth Maul, Shadow Lord, you don't know that he's not. There's no mention whatsoever of Vader until he just shows up. It wasn't like, oh, we need to call in Lord Vader, or you just sort of 2 Inquisitors.
Yeah,
and you just know one Inquisitor reported to the other, and that was it. Okay, that's it. Didn't know anyone else. Didn't even know that they called in the big guns.
Yeah, then it makes you remember why the Jedi went practically extinct, because as soon as they find out, they call in Darth Vader. And it's like, you get it. You understand the lore even more. Like, wow, this is why.
Yeah. And you're not going to be as fortunate. No.
Yeah.
But also, like Darth Maul says, like he knows your moves. He didn't know who it was, but he just said he's trained to know how Jedis fight.
Yeah.
So all the moves that your guys are doing, he knows what's coming. You have to stop. You have to stop fighting that way. And then the Jedi Master was like, "No, you can't give in." And Darth Maul's like, "Listen, I know I can anticipate your moves. You got to stop fighting this way. No, you got to change it up."
Yeah.
And
stop being
that's why she needs to get trained. Yeah, but definitely, if you stuck around by this long in the podcast, I'm sure you agree with what we're saying. If not, we'd love to hear. Yeah, we'd love to know what you thought of Darth Maul Shadow Lord. If you're opposed to our review of it, now I'd be interested to see someone who says they didn't like it. I'd really like to see that. But the second D of this episode is Daredevil. Daredevil. The demon or devil of Hell's Kitchen, season 2 on Disney Plus. Also, I enjoyed it. I mean, honestly, Vincent D'Onofrio is as amazing as Kingpin. Matt Murdock. I was never really a big fan of Daredevil, but watching the show gave me a greater appreciation for the comic book character and his lore. I don't see any other than wanting to see more of the Hell's Kitchen characters. I don't really have a problem with this latest season of Daredevil.
So I love the series. I can't wait to see next season. I think this is, and again, I know this is pretty old school, where you hope shows continue season after season. where it's in shock when the show isn't renewed for a new season. So I'm operating with that mentality. And I know that may be a little bit more hope than anything. And so I am saying that I'm excited to see where they go next season. I think they ended this season in a very interesting place, where it could either just continue in another TV series or it could have an impact in terms of future movies, especially when we see certain characters end up. Spoiler alert, like Bullseye. In the comic books, he became part of the Thunderbolts. Dark Hawkeye. So there's a lot of ways that they can go in terms of using these characters, because he is now working for the government to some extent. Kingpin, we know no matter where you put him, he's going to always be Kingpin. You can take Kingpin out of New York. You can take Fisk out of New York, but you can't take the Kingpin out of Fisk. So that can't be the end of him. Matt Murdock, I'm curious to see what his storyline is going to occur next, because at the end of the day, you're going to need him, not just as Daredevil, but as a damn good lawyer. And so I do have to say I'm glad that this show returned to the courtroom with him, because those scenes can be as intense as action sequences. Everybody may not like the lawyer scenes, but those scenes were pretty intense to me. So I'm glad they did have that courtroom drama, and he reminded that he's a damn good lawyer. And Muse, who I'm assuming will be new Muse, I'm curious as to what they're going to do with her storyline. But I did like the overall character development. I think Karen grew up a lot. She seemed to stand for something this season, where it wasn't an obstacle to the heroes trying to win.
Right. She was weighing them down. Yeah.
I did like her interactions with Matt, including saying that the difference between the two of them is that she grew up, in terms of like, well, you're not going to kill him. You're not going to kill anybody. You're going to beat him up, and then what? He's going to go. I mean, that's that age-old question. You don't stop the villain. Everybody else gets hurt, but you still have your moral code intact. Like, is that really saving the day? And I do like how they put that dynamic out there. Maybe it's just me enjoying the show so much that I want a little bit more at the end. I think the way the Kingpin was set up to be in the role that he was in, the governor, other dynamics, it just seemed like the ending was rushed a little.
I can see that.
I do get the Kingpin is crazy. I mean, he really is crazy. He's that whole facade of, a businessman, and the man, obviously we know that's a facade. But it's just like the downfall was very quick. And part of that was because he just spazzed out. He just crashed out. I mean, he's just breaking backs. He's breaking necks, which I think would have happened eventually. But I
think because his wife died. I think that's I think the crash out was because he's still grieving over his.
I think that's legit. I think a lot of that could have happened, but I think the finesse of the power that he had, it just suddenly collapsed. And obviously, the system that was in place didn't disappear completely. But it's just for the finale itself. It's like there wasn't that much resistance for the heroes at that point.
I agree that the final episode felt a bit rushed, but I also agree that the courtroom scenes, to me, also heightens Daredevil Matt Murdock's on-screen personality, because he's more than just a guy in a suit who's got these powers that he uses for good as a vigilante, but by day he's a really good lawyer. He's not someone who's just I'm like Peter Parker, where it's like, this is my real focus is Spider-Man. I'm saving the day. Being the neighborhood web slinger. This guy by day he's trying cases. And I think for me, which was impressive, is that the legal jargon or whatever. And I'm not well versed in it, but how he was able to paint Kingpin into a corner, and Kingpin didn't anticipate him outing himself as Daredevil, even though people how's a blind man going to be Daredevil? And then he throws his cane off the wall.
That was.
They're like,
oh shit, like, oh, this guy, he means what it is. But I felt like once that part happened, the engine for this episode went full throttle. Like everything just escalated so quickly from there that a few parts felt like it was rushed. Like you said, the people of the neighborhood and the city converged on the courthouse, and they're running in and getting past all the anti-villain task force people, which I didn't understand. Like, how did those people? I don't know. I just felt like those certain scenes they just pushed through. Like the cops were supposed to be going in to, I guess, apprehend Kingpin, but yet the everyone dressed as Daredevil supporters bum rush past you guys to try to get Kingpin, and Kingpin kicked their butt. But I did like certain scenes where they actually show White Tiger show some of her abilities. She was helping out inside of the melees and stuff. But I wish there would have been some more of the Heroes for Hire in the thing. I mean, Jessica Jones was there. She definitely showed her own, but I guess I was kind of hoping to see more of Luke Cage as opposed to that, like the last 90 seconds of the episode, him walking into her office, hugging their child and letting them know that he's no longer working for the government. Like, kind of hoping to see more Luke Cage again, because we see stuff on social media, and I presumed he was going to show up for more than that. Because had I not known that he took a picture with the cast, I would have never known that he was going to be in the show at all until those, the last few seconds. Like, oh, okay. But again, unfortunately, part of social media and the teasers and the trailers give away so much that you're waiting for more, expecting more. And when it doesn't hit, it kind of diminishes what they've already given to you. Yeah, like, oh, well, I was hoping for this because I saw this. But I enjoyed the series. I think now that he's in Daredevil's in prison, I think this leads into Spider-Man Brand New Day. Because if you can recall the trailer for Brand New Day, Spider-Man is in a prison when he's fighting the Hand. Like the Hand comes and kind of strikes down on him with a sword, and he blocks it with his web. Like, is that a prison that Daredevil's in, that he's maybe trying to break Daredevil out of prison? I think we don't know, but I mean, that's just my assumption. That's how, because we know Spider-Man and Daredevil are in the same world because Matt Murdock showed up in Spider-Man. We showed up in She-Hulk, so we know he exists in those world in the MCU world, inside that universe anyway. It's not like Fantastic Four, where it's a whole nother Earth, a whole nother timeline. So maybe, but again, we have no online confirmation that that's true. But certain things are kind of placing themselves that it may happen. Maybe Daredevil will show up inside of Spider-Man Brand New Day. He's not credited, the actor is not credited inside IMDb, but we've seen that before where they don't show up on IMDb, but they are in the movie itself.
Yeah. And I admit, I want to know the answer to that question, but I do not want to know the answer to that question until the movie comes out.
Exactly. I'd rather be
to know to want to go see the movie. I'm already going to go see it. So I hope Marvel doesn't put anything out to spoil the movie.
Yeah.
I want to go in like a brand new baby. I don't want to know anything.
I agree.
But I do hope that they have like a Jessica Jones series or Jessica Jones and Luke Cage series. I really do enjoy them as characters. More so, I would say, in the comic books than what it's been on screen. Only because in the comic books they're far ahead of where they are in the TV shows. And I like how this ended because it's just finally introducing that dynamic of the two of them, their daughter, because they have some great stories. And I just hope that they're able to start exploring those stories a little bit more.
I would like to see, even if it was earlier in the timeline when she doesn't have the kid, like this is them together, because the kid isn't a newborn. The kid looks like she's
at least
7.
Yeah, 6, like 7, 8,
maybe
6, 7. She's got to be in school.
Yeah, 6, 7.
I mean, maybe 8. Yeah, I wouldn't think she's over 10 years old, but there's some time between the Luke Cage and Jessica Jones series and now. Maybe they can show us them working together. Maybe it's like a moonlighting version of MCU where he's helping her on cases or something. He's a muscle in her case. Well, actually, no, they're both muscle, but I mean, you can get a mini series of these two working together on a case or cases going forward or going backwards. It would be nice to see if that's something that's available.
Even if it's not a team up, because it doesn't have to necessarily be that. It's just the good dynamic because it keeps them grounded. So even in the latest Alias comic book series, now obviously that deals with Luke Cage being mayor and her license. they do play a role in each other's stories, even if it is their story leading to an investigation, trying to find a serial killer, things of that nature. It makes the characters more dynamic, in my opinion. Because again, you can have some great Jessica Jones stories, you have some great Luke Cage stories, and I do hope that those characters are explored more on
and even if you don't do it based upon a comic book story arc for Jessica Jones, you can have make it like you said, a murder mystery kind of thing where you got 5, 6 episodes or 8 episodes nowadays. That's the limit of a mystery, a whodunit. But it just happens to have a superhero as a detective. I'm for it. We watched Wonder Man for several episodes where it's a man with superpowers, but he's just trying to land a movie role. It's really about just a struggling actor just trying to get famous in Hollywood, but he just happens to have superpowers that I'm for it. If the writing is good, people will like it. The thing is when maybe our expectations may be high, but good writing usually can meet people's expectations.
They have good cast. They have good people they cast in the roles already. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, Marvel's done well with their casting. I have no problem with who they cast as MCU except for Iron Fist. And I think, the guy who played Iron Fist is a decent actor. I think the fault is either, I'm not sure behind the scenes if he didn't do the stunt choreography as far as any training. His fight scenes were just not believable as a person who studied martial arts. That to me was like, I'm not sure if you had a stunt man or whatever that had. That part to me was the big problem of season 1 of Iron Fist. Iron Fist 2, you focus more on Colleen probably because you realize that Iron Fist season 1, the martial arts was bad. So let me focus on someone who knows or could believable. I don't know if the actress knows martial arts in the real world, but Jed definitely made it. She seemed more believable than the actor who played Iron Fist.
I see your expressions, Kay.
She's like, yeah, he right.
No, because it's the thing about I look at his first version of it the same way I look at the first iteration of Wolverine with Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great. I think people forget that when Hugh Jackman first was Wolverine, he was, do not hate me, people. He was average. It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So the fact that the actor may not have been the best martial. Can't even put that out.
I mean, no one's gonna come in like Michael Jai White or Wesley Snipes, knowing these moves are off the road before. You gotta recruit for something like that, which I think they should have done.
And that was probably the mistake. If you're noticing that he's struggling to make things look fluid, then maybe just use a stuntman and then cut to his face, which is fine.
We're not doing it. But then it's gonna look like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of stuff where or like on a Xena level, like you can tell this is a stunt
every other show. For the most part, most of the shows there's a stunt person doing the bulk of the work. There are ways to do it.
Yeah, but most of those have a full mask. I mean, Iron Fist didn't have on the mask like you have in the cartoon. Like you can get away with it with Matt Murdock. You can get away with it with Daredevil because he had a full mask. I mean, other than this much of his face is not covered, but something for Mandalorian. Like you have a stunt guy, then you have Pedro Pascal, is a face of it. Unfortunately, it didn't work for them. But I think if they had recruited someone who knows martial arts and can play Daredevil,
a little bit better.
Iron Fist, it probably would have worked. But we'll see what season, whatever, if the Heroes of Hell Kitchen or Heroes for Hire, if they're going to do a second season of that, maybe they will. Maybe they'll figure out some way to incorporate a better fight scenes for him.
Or just make it look like a dance, the same way
they did. They tried that, and it looked like West Side Story, when he was fighting inside of I think it was the episode in Heroes for Hire with I think it was Luke Cage or whatever, when they all were fighting. And he came in and he was fighting in that warehouse with Luke Cage, and it looked like it was West Side Story. He came sliding in. I'm like, what is this?
Okay, I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt because, like, certain shows I don't go back and rewatch.
No. You get
So
way too much.
I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but one thing I think of is The Matrix with Keanu Reeves. He went from like Bill and Ted's Great Adventures to someone who was at least believable when it came to the martial arts and The Matrix, where you were like, wait, what is he doing? Is this the Keanu Reeves character? Is this him doing this? And if you look back at it now, you can tell that obviously he improved in the next shows. But I remember watching some commentary from the people who was training him, and they were like they didn't feel that he was there to the point where they needed someone or that main character to be there when it came to being the one in terms of his martial arts. And so they kept working with him. That guy expressed doubts, and they kept working with him. And then he stepped up and he learned enough where it did become believable. But that takes part of that dedication and the willingness to develop with the training. So again, I'm not commenting on what goes on behind the scenes, but it is tough to watch from the beginning. There's no improvement in the action sequences. It even looks worse over time. They may not have wanted to put a mask on him because it may look similar to Daredevil's black mask, but Iron Fist has had masks. Even the fact that they didn't do that, it's just, was there that same commitment level?
Yeah,
to playing the character and not just being the face of the character.
Okay. Yeah. Just try to give people the benefit of the doubt, which is weird.
They had to. Well, let's see. It's been some years. It's been more than 5 years. So let's see what happens when we see them. Yeah, and the only reason we're bringing them up is, again, we'll segue into is because Michael Coulter, the actor who plays Luke Cage, had posted a picture of him with Jessica Jones, the Daredevil, as well as Iron Fist, look like in a prison. So again,
we know they all show up at some point.
Yeah, at some point, we're going to possibly see them all together. We know, and that leads us into our next discussion about movie trailers, teasers, social media. Does that ruin or enhance the viewing experience? I'm going to say no, only because nowadays they give away too much. They're going well beyond the point of selling a movie or selling a show to the viewer, to the point of they're spoiled. You got to spoil stuff to get people to want to come see it and to pay to see it inside.
I feel like the trailers are sort of destroying it for me. I don't want to know, like, for a horror movie, I don't want to know everything that's going to happen. For an action movie, I don't want to know everything that's going to happen. For a love story, I don't really care because I'm not going to watch it. But like certain things, I don't like. I want to be surprised. If it's supposed to be a thriller or a suspense thing, do not give me everything in the freaking trailer because I'm not going to want to go see it. Like, look at I'm trying to think, like, the last time a lot of movie trailers lately, especially lately, give you way too much stuff, and you're just like, I had an idea that maybe I want to go see this, and then by the time the third trailer comes around, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to see this anymore. Like, you've given me way too much stuff, way too much information that I'm like, I can piece together your entire thing through your trailers. If it's maybe a thing where you just give us 2 trailers and you stop, you don't have to keep giving people everything. Like, you don't have to spoon feed us into coming into the theater. Like, if it cheapens the experience, and it cheapens the fact that, like, yo, I no longer want to go. Like, I'll wait. It'll come on TV. I mean, it won't come on TV. You know what I mean? It'll come on streaming. But it just, for me, like, when we do this, and it's not even like recently, like, because they've been doing this for like the past decade, where like more and more
it's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse. You're just like, oh well, if we don't give them everything, they're not going to come see it. Like, I don't want to come see it because you've given me so much. I don't want to know all that is going to happen before I come out, and then it makes it worse because then, like, the trailers, sometimes we get trailers like 6 months out, and I'm like, oh, I don't care. By the time it comes, you've given me too much. I just don't. But yeah, that's me. Like for the trailers are destroying the experience for me because people have forgotten the idea of a trailer is just to be a teaser, not the whole story. Just give me an appetizer. I don't want the meal before I go in.
Yeah.
But that's me.
It's like you watch a TV show where they release all the episodes, and then you finish an episode, and then they immediately start showing you here's what's next, and they're showing key scenes in the episode that is already available. You're like, wait, let me just watch the episode. I don't need to see what's next when it's already available. And it's like, maybe they look at the data and they say we have to keep people, we don't lose the audience, where they want to keep watching. So we have to give them something in the trailer. But some of that, I think, wouldn't be necessary if you give people an engrossing story. If you give them a story they want to finish, if you give them a story they want to be part of, you don't need to have somewhat of these gimmicks. And I remember there was a time, a long time ago, where if a movie showed too much in the trailer, you would think it's not a good movie because they're trying to get people to come to the movie. It's like, this must be a really good movie. They didn't show anything. I don't even know who did it. It must be really good. But I think it's the way they believe people consume, media nowadays. But for me, it's problematic because it takes away moments. Like, we just spoke about Darth Maul. Maybe after episode 8, they showed like a sequence where maybe it hinted at Darth Vader. I admit I was completely surprised. I didn't even check. I don't like checking pages for shows that I'm watching because I know there's always a spoiler somewhere. But I love that genuine surprise. And it's like, wow, I have to watch the next episode. And I think with some of these trailers, when you're watching the movie itself and it's you're enjoying it, you're having a good time, and a big scene is coming up, I lose some of that excitement because I'm like, this did not happen yet. It was in the trailer and it didn't happen in the movie yet. And it looks like they're in the same area that they showed in the trailer. I already know what's going to happen. So you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but I've seen it 10 times already. And it's like, it takes away from those big moments. So I do think some trailers, even if people are borderline, they try to sell it like He-Man. But then at what point is it too much? Where you're like, I've seen the battles, I've seen the powers, I've seen the storylines, I've seen the jokes, I've seen the characters. Do I need to see the movie right now? Yeah. And I think that it's become a lost art.
Yeah, I agree. I think you and Kay said that the art of being a teaser of the trailer just to get people's appetite wet to want to see it in the movies or tune in next week, it's kind of lost because they have trailers A, trailer B, trailer C, D, E, and F. They have all these different versions of the trailers, and each one has a little bit more of the movie in it. So you haven't seen a new trailer, and it's got the same intro, but then it's got new footage, and it's like I already know what the not so much a plot twist, but I'm seeing extra stuff that now I can either start putting two and two together, but it's no longer a surprise for me when I go into the theater to see this scene. I mean, you may get that with some of these horror and suspense movies, like in I Know What You Did Last Summer's, remixes and stuff. Like it starts showing you all these people getting killed. Like when the movie come out, I can already check you off the box. I've seen in the trailer you crawling on, bleeding out from so and so behind you with the hook. Unless something happens, I guess I have to see it for you not to die. But I'm already on assumption that you're gone. You're not gonna make it to the end credits. Even like that's definitely with Marvel movies. Like as Marvel movies progress down the MCU timeline, they got more detailed with their trailers, more multiple trailers, multiple releases of information about those trailers. So it really wasn't too much of a surprise. I like how they kind of went back to those multiple teasers for the Avengers Doomsday. Like those Avengers Doomsday trailers were they didn't show really much action, but just hit a little snippet. That's fine. I mean, for the initiated individuals like ourselves who've seen Marvel movies already, we don't need any backstory of who these characters are, why they're seeing each other. So it's already like, oh, Doomsday, oh, let's see the shield. Cap is back. Okay, you got me sold. Or Thor's talking about his daughter. Okay, I'm sold. Or you see Shuri, and then you see Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm talking. How do they meet? I'm already sold. Let me go see it. I don't need to see any more footage. I don't need to know why they're in the desert. No, I don't think only thing that's gonna get people's appetite more drooling over would be to actually see Doctor Doom himself, Robert Downey Jr. in costume, actually doing something. But then again, to me, that's like you're giving away a big because I'm still under just fathoming Doctor Doom as Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Like, what kind of is he going to be? Dark? Is he going to be kind of just a smart ass like he was as Tony Stark, but just he's Victor Von Doom? Like, he's a talented actor. I just want to see how it's going to materialize in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think they would do more with less, especially with these big franchises that are already established. I could understand if it's a new IP or a movie that you're not really sure people are going to go see. Like Kim said, like you got to kind of sell it to try to get people to convince to see. Like I think the movie's called "They Will Kill You," Zazie Beetz' recent movie where she's in. I'm not sure, she's in a hotel or a building where they're going to try to sacrifice her for Satan or something. Awesome concept. A woman she's trying to kill as many people as possible to get out of this building, but you see her as too much of the trailer's release showing her taking out a lot of people. So it already gives me an inclination she's going to survive. She's going to kick butt. You didn't have to show everything.
Also though, when you see certain actors in certain roles, you're like, you're not killing them off. Like you're not
going to kill them. You're not going to kill all. I presume you're not going to kill her, but it's just like you've seen her. There's too many sequences of events in the trailer and the teasers of her kicking butt. You didn't need to do that. You could have sold it in quick 1-2 issues. I'm going to stop him or whatever. I haven't seen the movie, but the trailers I've seen her. I think I forgot the actor's name who played Draco Malfoy. He's in it, and she kicks his butt, and I think he's missing his eye or something. Like it's just again stuff I would not have known had I not seen the movie. But it's like you gave it away in the trailer that I'm presuming sooner or later she's gonna kill him. You could give the suspense that maybe he is the ultimate bad guy. Maybe he's not. In actuality, he may not be. He's just a henchman. But if your editor was any better, they could have shown it a tease clip where I'm coming for you and about to face off. That's it. You don't have to actually show them fighting, but just a face off to give people what their appetite. Oh, what's going to happen? Is he going to kick her butt? Is that going to happen early on? Is she going to get vengeance afterwards? Or does he have to kill enough people to face Draco Malfoy's character and then fight? But that's to me is what I think. Social media and people wanting to know ahead of time is definitely killing the viewing because I may not want to go see it. I may not want to pay $40 because I've already seen $20 worth online from these trailers. I can assume the rest. I'll hit the streaming. But I think, in addition to trailers destroying movies, I think one way that movie theaters are counteracting that is by having these elaborate collectibles. You have the popcorn buckets, you got the candy holders, you got the drink containers. These things have been going back probably for years, but they've gotten more complex, more expensive, more limited in addition nowadays. Like the Galactus popcorn head bucket from Fantastic Four. I myself wanted one. That was I think it was like $80 or something. When I went to the theater, the guy said they sold them. They only had like 12 of them. All the theater in Times Square only had 12, and they sold out like on a Thursday night when it first released. They were already gone. Like, how do you only have 12 of these?
Yeah.
I ended up buying a Herbie popcorn bucket / robot for I think it was like $70-something or so. Haven't put food in it whatsoever. I don't plan to, but it's I saw it and I wanted it. Yeah, it's there. It's sitting on the bookshelf. I just wanted it. I got the Predator helmet from the Predator Badlands one. I bought that because I saw it. I wanted it. Like it. I think that. I mean, to me, that's the catch now. Like
what you're doing with your adult money.
Yeah, I'm a kid with adult money. This is what happened. But Yeah, am I going for the movie or am I going for the collectibles? Is a good question. Kareem, are you going to see He-Man for the movie or are you going for the collectibles? You getting that Castle Grayskull thing?
You know, I that was one toy I wanted growing up. We could never afford that. I was just sitting there looking at, I don't know which catalog it was, or circular, but you know, we all got the papers. We're going. He's just sitting there looking at the picture. So if I can buy that popcorn bucket, I think I just might buy it.
Yeah,
but I think that can enhance the movie going experience. If it's a movie that you're going to enjoy, even when it comes out on streaming. Like, you know, Lord of the Rings for me. Like, yeah, I watch Lord of the Rings regularly. I probably need help. So if I get a popcorn bucket that has any resemblance to Lord of the Rings, every time I watch it, I can use that. Or, you know, Yoshi for Super Mario Galaxy 2 movie. I know my son is going to watch that. And I'll be there watching it with him a lot of times. He can have the Yoshi popcorn bucket. It just adds to that experience. But you're right. I think the limited availability is annoying at times because it's like, you have to get it immediately, or you have to go, or you have to
pre-order
online or eBay. And it's like everything does not need to be a collector's item. You know, sometimes things can just be fun. Like, you know,
I mean, yeah, but that being said, I still kind of want the one one of the new things that I kind of like is, again, I'm not going to go see He-Man, but the He-Man, the sword that's actually for drinking.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I would never use it, but I'm just like,
yeah, you got the
I got adult money. That would be right. That would be the thing I would get. I like that. And the only other one in recent years that I've actually really wanted and contemplating getting until I saw the price was for the Dracula movie that came out like a few years ago that didn't necessarily do well.
Was the coffin?
That was like the only other one that I like. I was like, okay, this I want. And then I finally saw it and I was like, oh, it's really pretty, but I am not paying that price for it. Like, because again, it's like aftermarket. And I'm like, y'all can kick rocks on that.
Aftermarket obviously is going to be so expensive, but a lot of these things are so large that is like this is. I can see if it's something you purchase at a convention, but to use it at the theater at the time, or to like we saw the last Jurassic Park movie was Scarlett Johansson. Like they had one this popcorn bucket, air quotes on bucket, was a T-Rex footprint. So it's this wide dish that had to be at least 20 inches across. Like this thing, like it would sit on your lap, but it's so flat. It's not, and they sprinkle with the popcorn in the footprint of the T-Rex, but it's like a big dish now. So it's like you got to hold it certain so that way you can sitting in the theater with some of these items is cumbersome.
Right.
You have the Skeletor head or was it Shao Kahn's helmet mask for Mortal Kombat? Like these things that you may not put the batteries in. Hopefully you don't put the batteries in, or the things the things may alarm and lights going off in the theater. But
and if
it's so cumbersome to sit there for the extent of the movie. It's kind of cumbersome to sit there. Or the Dune popcorn bucket, which was that sparked a lot of fanfare on the internet for a bit, or the Wolverine mask bucket for Deadpool. Like these things are weird, but also sometimes they look larger than they are. They actually look in reality they're larger than they are. Like I think this past summer was the 20th or 30th year anniversary of Back to the Future 2. They had a DeLorean was a popcorn bucket. And that thing was big, like the size of my laptop. Like wow, that's I won't get that because I didn't think it was going to be that big. So certain things are larger than you anticipate if you want to go actually buy, like the live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. They had like a Hiccup popcorn bucket, and it was really big. Like I got no place for this on my bookshelf, and I'm not going to have this in my lap for the duration of the movie.
Yes,
and the hammer from like the War of the Rohirrim, that hammer bucket, is huge.
But you would have bought it, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, that's the thing. Like, nah, you would have bought that because when you were saying literally, I was like, didn't they have the hammer one? Like, wasn't that for one of them?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah.
can see them adding. Especially, well, what kind of bucket do you think they would have had if this was something popular during when Lord of the Rings first came out, the trilogy first came out? What kind of bucket do you think they would have made? Gandalf's hat. Gandalf's hat is a bucket.
Maybe I can see that. They probably would have had a hammer or some kind of weapon. One of the weapons. Maybe Mountain Doom. They probably would have had a popcorn bucket. Mountain Doom.
Okay, the little hobbits on the corner. Sauron's tower or something like that.
Like maybe the light of Linda. I don't know. You know that would be pretty
maybe making a shire like the Bilbo's house, but at the top it comes off and there's popcorn or something like that in there.
Like they did with the Gladiator 2 bucket, like where it's an actual thing.
Arena.
You could do the shower. Yeah, like because you could have the Gladiator 2 one. Like so, imagine if they did that for like the Shire itself, and then you could just fill it up. That would have been interesting.
I would have got that aftermarket too, even if I had to.
It's okay. They can do it for the 25th anniversary of. Wait, no, hold on.
I remember Gladiator 2 had the mask. That one, like they had the mask that goes on top of the bucket. That was separate. I saw that one when Jade and I went to go see Gladiator 2 in the theater. I saw it and I was like, "Yep, I don't want that." I never wanted it to begin with, but I saw it and I was like, "Yeah, nope." I never saw the Coliseum looking bucket. I just looked online. I see it, but. I feel like there was something. Maybe it was just a toy. I feel like there was something with Golem on a rock. Maybe that's just.
It was a toy, but they could have turned that into a bucket. Actually, I have that toy.
Oh, you do? Okay, so that's probably what it is. A toy. Go to enough conventions, we're gonna see these things laid out somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be wait, hold on. That would actually be an amazing booth for someone to have at a con. Just have like all aftermarket popcorn buckets that like just have like 10 of each. They would sell out. Like you just have somebody has a booth at a con. It's like you walk in and like you're a Lord of the Rings fan. These are the ones we got. Do like and just have 10 of each. That would be the fastest selling.
Yeah, I would think so.
At any convention.
Yeah. Someone's have to have that, like just popcorn buckets or candy buckets or just candy collectibles. Just have those available at your booth to purchase aftermarket. I think people would purchase those things. You can use them while you're there. No,
pretty much.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What's the? I can foresee there's going to be a Doctor Doom mask. Is going to be a popcorn bucket for Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. I believe. We haven't seen anything online, but I think that's going to be one.
True.
It could have been a Vader helmet. A Vader mask could have been a nice one. A Kylo Ren mask could have been a nice one. A Stormtrooper mask would have been something
cool. Or TIE Fighter popcorn bucket.
Is the I feel like is the Mandalorian Mandalorian Grogu? I think don't they have some kind of popcorn buckets? Let me see. I'll look online now.
Hold up. Yes, because we know it's going to. Mando.
Yeah, they have a Mandu and Grogu popcorn bucket. So it looks like a Mandalorian's upper torso with Grogu on his back as a popcorn bucket. They got the Grogu in his little baby carrier.
As a popcorn bucket.
As a popcorn. Yeah, the biggest one I see is the Ant popcorn bucket. Again, I can't get that. I've already been told no, and I have no place to put it, but it looks pretty
okay. Awesome. So someone online posted, I guess, I don't know if this is really all of them, but like, so you've got the Mando, the bucket, the hover pram bucket, the Mando Grogu popcorn bucket, the Grogu popcorn container. He's like this. Then it's just a tin bucket with Grogu on the top. There's an at bucket.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The at bucket. Yeah.
Why? Like, and there's two. Oh my god! So the Mando helmet comes as a bucket, and then there's also a 32-ounce Mando glossy metal cup.
I'm trying to think. The theaters by me is the AMC.
Popcorn bucket with lights and sound effects.
Collectible cup with drink topper.
All right, so AMC looks like they got a good decent stuff. Regal has some interesting things. I don't know what a Harkins is, but Harkins has a popcorn tin with a keychain.
There's a Regal by me and an AMC, so I could get the 130-ounce popcorn tin. There's a regular popcorn because I have a Sinners one and a Jurassic Park one like that. There's a normal tins that don't nothing special, so you can just stack them inside of one another. But that's if I wanted it. I think I'm gonna try my best to. I'm just going
to buy it.
No. Well,
you're not even gonna buy it. Why are we?
I have the thing. I have the AMC. I have the AMC membership, so I can get free large popcorn refills. So I can tell them I want to purchase this, but don't put no popcorn in it. Just give me a regular paper container because I don't want to have to wash this buttery stuff out. Just leave it untouched in the plastic. I can put it on the shelf when I'm done.
If you see it at Regal, you can get a Grogu plush. Just saying, it's not a bucket.
That Grogu plush gonna be sold out by the time I get to it there, it's gonna be sold out. I don't plan on seeing it open at night. Those things are gonna be going. Plus, I'd rather not have a plush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kareem,
one less thing to try to put on the shelf.
So Kareem, I know you have a Regal near you.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the AT&T popcorn bucket. Or at depending on how you like to pronounce it.
He said AT&T popcorn bucket.
it has light.
They got a phone joint.
It has light, sound effects. Like,
yeah.
how big is this thing? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, this is. Oof. Okay, so when you get that, please take pictures of it.
you know it's gonna be sold out. I can't do Thursday movies anymore. So
Well, wait, hold up though. But wait. Hold up though. But here's and this is horrible. But no one says you have to buy it while you're seeing the movie. You could technically go there on a Thursday on your lunch break, because I know how far away you work from the theater. Don't play with me. And buy it. This is probably not where you live. Huh?
I said, I'm looking on Reddit now. Someone's already got the popcorn bucket for the at one.
How you how?
I don't know how they got it, but it's large. It's pretty large. It must have fallen. The legs don't look like they're bent, so I don't think you can actually reduce its size.
No.
It doesn't even look like it's going to hold much popcorn. It's more so just the novelty of having it.
Probably, yeah.
It comes with a little Mandalorian holding on the side of it. It's nice and all, but
how do you clean it?
That's the thing. I wouldn't put popcorn in it. It's like, I don't want just give me the popcorn in a separate container. This is my collectible. I'll keep it in the bag while I watch the movie. No, we're good. But I think it's going to be between at least $80 for it. These things aren't cheap. But yeah, if you're selling these at an aftermarket, you're probably looking at spending. Yeah, I'm looking online now. You can actually Swan Drive-In allows you to buy it now.
At that price point, it's
$39.99.
Just buy the toy.
Well, I mean, yeah,
you get more details, and you don't have to worry about cleaning the butt out of it.
That's just I'm good. Yeah, no,
but it does look nice. But yeah,
no, we're good. It's cute in theory, and again, it's a better way to take money from you. You don't need this. You don't need your hard-earned money. Buy this. You're an adult.
No, we're kids with adult money. That's pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're kids with adult money.
So,
I'd like to know from those who are listening and viewing this, what popcorn buckets have you purchased, or would you be willing to purchase a popcorn bucket in the very near future?
And what movie do you think would have been what movie would you have loved to have seen a popcorn bucket for? Like a detailed one. Like that would be.
Yeah. Actually, another popcorn bucket I saw that was cute was the recent Superman movie. It was like a newsstand, the little red box newsstand. I think it had crypto sitting on top of it or so. But that was cute. But again, you see it when you go into the theater, like, oh, that looks nice, and you go about your day like, that's good.
Yeah, I just went about my day. I didn't buy that one with crypto on it.
Yeah. I feel like the grin tells me otherwise.
Him just saying it like, no,
you mean the one that we still use to this day?
Are you use it for popcorn, or you put other stuff in it?
For popcorn, you could take crypto off.
Okay.
Which ended up happening, but my son used it even last night for popcorn.
Oh, cool.
Watching TV, so you really get pop because it's an actual bucket. and you have
Okay.
crypto attached. She attaches to the bucket. So it's
Okay.
like the best of both worlds. It's a nice size popcorn bucket with a nice, collectible attached to it.
I wonder if there's going to be one for Minions. The Minions movie that comes out later on in the year. I feel like they're going to probably have one for Minions.
They probably will.
That I would consider, because they're just so goofy looking. I probably would consider getting a popcorn bucket of a Minion.
Yeah.
don't frown face, Kim.
No, I'm literally just looking. Minions great popcorn.
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, I see stuff on Amazon, but I want to see an actual movie.
Yeah, so there's not one listed definitively yet. It looks like.
Yeah, they got Despicable Me joints, but I'm wondering if these are ones that they sold at like Universal Studios. They have a whole bunch of different kind Minions popcorn buckets. Yeah, I mean they look nice, but again, these are things that if you have if New York City apartments don't have much space, so if you have a spot on your shelf to put these little things, that'd be nice. But sometimes these buckets are so big, it's like I can't. I can probably put some of these Funko Pops inside these popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Funko Pops, well,
that's
the other. I was gonna say, speaking of the Funko Pops, it's kind of like also another way that movies get ruined.
Yeah. I think we were talking about that offline earlier. Was that do toys also ruin the spoiler or the surprise involvement of certain characters or figures of a movie before? Like oftentimes you'll see a toy. Like Kareem, I think you mentioned you saw stuff about the Hulk. That's maybe inside the new Spider-Man movie. Like, oh, okay, we already know what they look like. I think that was also true for some of the Avenger movies earlier. Before the last Endgame was like you can tell who's going to be in a movie, what they're going to look like because the toys get released. And social media sees it, so you already know this person's got to be in the movie because they're making a toy to associate with that character.
Yeah. This one is a little bit tricky for me because I'm sure when we were growing up, TV shows or movies were probably driven either from the popularity of a toy or to make a toy popular. Where looking back at some of the storylines now, you're like, yeah, they probably just did that to make the character, die off so they could have some new toys that they introduce later. You get older, you start realizing like, okay, this is intertwined a little bit more than I thought. So I really can't say if growing up, some of the announcements were done prior to a movie coming out or right after or simultaneously. But one thing I do know now is it's easy for me to get an email saying, yeah, this toy is available for pre-order before even seeing it in the trailer. So I've already received, toy announcements and emails for a brand new day in the next Spider-Man movie, where you pretty much get an idea of how the costumes are going to look or how the character is going to look because they try to make it as accurate as possible to the movie. Especially when you're dealing with, people who want to play with it as a toy or they want to keep it as a collector's item. They're not going to want something that looks completely different than whatever it's based on. So like the Hulk, we all know the Hulk is going to be in the movie. They've been talking about that for some time. We don't know what role he's going to play. We do know there are a lot of villains in Brand New Day, but we now know what he looks like when he turns into the Hulk. And obviously he's going to turn into the Hulk because the toy is out there already. I know the color pants. I know, what version of the Hulk is probably going to be, at least close as possible to that. So it gives you a good idea of the storyline. There are some movies where they introduce characters before they even show them in the trailers. Especially sometimes overseas that news is announced about, a toy that they're producing. It's not available. You can do a pre-order, but now the movie could be spoiled in that manner. So I do like being able to buy certain characters, certain looks. I do get annoyed when, the movie comes out and then the toy line doesn't come out for like 2 or 3 years after. You're like, it's a little bit old at this point. But yeah, I do think sometimes they spoil too much. In this case, is it a deal breaker because you know what the Hulk is going to look like? Probably not. But I think this is one of the more conservative toy announcements compared to other cases.
I agree. But I think also sometimes works the other way around, where a movie is more popular than they anticipated, so now there is no product out to supplement that film. Like, for example,
Black
K-pop
Panther.
Demon Hunters was so popular on Netflix that people didn't anticipate for it, so there were really no toys or anything really legally tangible except for bootlegs or whatever around Christmas time in 2025. So depends upon the movie, depends upon if I guess the studio believes in it enough to kind of get product placements at Happy Meals or Burger King or whatever have you that will tie it into the film. I think Burger King has a tie-in with Mandalorian and Grogu, so there may be some toys there at Burger King that may give away a character or a scene. Like if you haven't seen the trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu, clearly Mandalorian's got to be attacking an at Walker because there's a popcorn bucket showing him on the side of it. So I'm presuming this is actually going to take place somewhere. Or the He-Man's coming out. See Skeletor at the top of his throne and He-Man walking up the throne. I think that's a popcorn bucket or a candy dispenser. We know that's going to happen in the movie because it's the toy that correlates to the movie. So some things are spoilers, but I feel like they know it's going to be a spoiler. So it's almost like you got to kind of blind yourself from social media and just go into this theater. Like, I'm not going to watch I'm not going on Facebook. I'm not going on Instagram until I see this movie. I don't want to know anything about it. I got to stay off social media, so I don't want to be spoiled. Where's Tom Holland? I want to make sure he doesn't tell me nothing about this.
Tie that boy up until the movie is over.
He can't stop himself. He's got to tell someone about something. But I'd like to know from our viewers and our listeners, like what popcorn buckets or what collectibles they purchase or what they desire for any upcoming movies or even for movies that in the past. If you wish there was a popcorn bucket for, I don't know, Into the Dragon. I mean, a candy dispenser made it looking like nunchucks or something like that.
Wait, what if there was one for The Last Dragon?
Oh, a Soul Glow bottle as a not Soul Glow, but he's got the globe, so it's like Pop's Pizza is like it's a big pizza box.
Or even the thing where the little small thing that like where Show Enough puts his foot through it, and because it's playing the music video.
Oh, the jukebox.
That would have been a cute one.
Or that murky fish tank that the guy had. The gangster had like that fish tank. You think it's a piranha or something inside of it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not that. Maybe
hold your drink. It's like a big ass juice box. Like,
ew.
Yeah, I would like to know what people would think of old school movies and if they had a corresponding popcorn or collectible in the theaters. What would you desire it to be?
Yeah.
This is this episode of the Three Hug Hoggets podcast. We're your hosts, Kay, Kareem, and Hanif. Have a good one.